I'm back this week talking about how to survive the holidays emotionally. All right. Last week, I know we talked about surviving the holidays mentally, and I definitely believe that the mental and emotional health they're very closely connected, but they are very different nonetheless. So I want to take some time to hone in on how to survive the holidays emotionally. All right. The holidays can be very triggering for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons in a lot of different ways. And so I really want to make sure that we take time to acknowledge that. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's what we do with those emotions that matter the most. Okay. For me, as you may or may not know, I lost both of my parents within a span of 2 years, and I was in my late 20s, early 30s when it happened, and so was not married yet, and so I really had to reinvent the holidays and really try to figure out, okay, how do I want to make the most of this season? How do I still want to celebrate this season in the midst of acknowledging that I may be grieving at certain times? And so, there's nothing wrong with that. Some of you may be watching, and this is going to be your first holiday season without a particular loved one, which can be especially challenging. So, I want to acknowledge that as well for you, and I want to hopefully provide some tips and tools regarding that as well. And when I say reinvent the holidays, for me personally, I had to figure out, okay, what is going to make me happy? What is going to make me smile during this time of year? What is a great way for me to honor, the legacy of those that I may have lost this time of year? For some, it may mean leaning into traditions that you did with that loved one in honor of them. And then for others, it may mean doing the exact opposite. It may mean, okay, I know my first Christmas without my mom, I was like, I'm going to Hawaii. I'm gonna lay up on some beach somewhere. I don't want to be around a Christmas tree. I don't want to be around Christmas lights. I just want to be maxing and relaxing, chilling out in the sun. So it really depends on each person, but I would say just don't be afraid to do something different. If that's what you feel like you need to do this time of year, it may be a great time to also create new traditions, if they involve traditions with, your family or your friends, but create new traditions. There's nothing wrong with that as well. So I would say don't be afraid to reinvent the holidays and what it looks like for you to celebrate the holidays, if that is what it means in order for you to tend to your own personal emotional health, and take the time that you need to process those emotions. I would always be so upset that, I couldn't control my emotions, because literally I could be shopping in a grocery store and I could come across my mom's favorite brand of cereal and just bust out in tears and be mad at myself. Like, why couldn't I have done this during my quiet time when I'm, it's in a quiet, secluded, isolated place, and I'm pouring out my heart before the Lord, or a commercial could come up on television and remind me. And I'm just like, oh gosh, but you cannot control your emotions. I acknowledge them, recognize them for what they are, and then from there decide what is a healthy way to best manage them. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to talk to someone, talk to someone. If you need to go and take a kickboxing class and kick it out, box it out, kick it out, box it out, whatever you need to do, but acknowledge the emotions, and then from there figure out what is a healthy way to best navigate and manage these emotions. So I will say that, especially for those that may be grieving during this holiday season. All right. So two things, sorry, I gave one finger, but two things I want to share about how to survive the holidays emotionally. Number one, and this kind of alludes to what I was just talking about. Give yourself grace. I think, first of all, no one's perfect, regardless of how they look on social media or in real life. No one is perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us have it all together. Okay. So just throw that out the window. You're not going to have it all together. You're not going to be able to dot every I and cross every T. All you can do is put forth your best effort and trust God with the rest, but give yourself grace. All right. You're not going to have it all together, nor should you. And you're not perfect, nor are, none of us are. That's why we need Jesus. All right. So give yourself grace. It's okay. All right. And then the second thing that I want to really highlight or focus on is stay in the moment. Oftentimes we live life at such a high speed, going at such a high pace that we don't take time to really enjoy the moment, to really appreciate the experience, to really love on those that are around us, and even just in day-to-day life outside of the holidays, I have had to realize that I am not a multitasker, a good multitasker, I should say. I used to pride myself on it till one day my husband was like, "You're not good at multitasking." And I had to take the medicine and be like, "I think you're right. I really do think you're right." But what I have found is, yes, I can do multiple things, just not all at the same time. So when I am focusing in on a particular task, that is my focus. If I'm spending time with family, I'm spending time with family. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not doing the laundry. I'm not cooking dinner. I'm spending time with family. If I'm cooking dinner, I'm cooking dinner. If I'm doing laundry, I'm doing laundry. If I'm answering emails, I'm answering emails. But all that to say, stay in the moment, because when you're able to focus singularly, it allows you to be that much more effective, that much more productive. And relationally, based on the people that you're around, you're able to give your full attention to them. You're able to really hone in to what they're saying. Have you ever been listening to somebody and you're thinking about the next thing you want to say, or worse, you're thinking about, "Oh man, I done returned that person's phone call. Oh man, I done responded to that email. You know what? I need to do X, Y, and Z." And you literally just, the person talking to you is like, "Want, want, 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 want." Like, no, like, help us, Lord, to stay in the moment and focus on the people that are around us. If it's our children, if it's our spouses, if it's our parents, co-workers, whatever, stay in the moment, because it allows you to give your best version of yourself to the people that are around you. Okay. And it allows you also, even if you are not engaging with people in that moment, as we talked about, just the emotions that can rise up during this time of year, it allows us to be attentive to that as well. So we can identify, okay, hey, I may be triggered in this moment. I'm feeling sadness. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling guilt, and what is the best way or the healthiest way for me to process that emotion that is coming to the surface. Okay. So stay in the moment, and oftentimes that requires us to slow down. If we're trying to stay in the moment, it requires us to take a beat and say, okay, I'm going to move at a slower pace this time of year, because I really want to prioritize my friends and my family. I really want to prioritize being grateful. I really want to prioritize working through whatever emotions may rise up this time of year. Okay. So just in review, I want us to focus on two things. Number one, give yourself grace. You're not perfect. No one is. You don't have it together. No one does. That's why we need Jesus. All right. And then number two, stay in the moment. Be present. Be present for yourself. And then also be present for those that are around you, so that you can give your best version of who you are in those relational settings, when you're engaging with people and when you're spending time with friends and family. So just a couple of tips on how to survive the holidays emotionally. I hope that this has helped. And again, if you have any other feedback or tips you want to add, drop them in the chat. All right. We'll see y'all next time.